Happy Wednesday, homespun friends. I'm coming to you today once again from inside. My husband is outside cutting grass today, so it's a little bit loud out there. And I thought I would come today and show you one of the ways that I stay organized. Now, I don't use my homemaking binder to the same extent that I did when my children were younger. When they were small, I used it for everything and used it numerous times a day to hold all of my important information and to keep me on track because they all played sports, they were all involved in different activities, and so it was a lot to keep up with for multiple people. Now that everyone's grown up, I don't need it to the same degree that I once did, but it's still a great tool for helping especially young homemakers, but any aged homemaker, stay organized not only with just finances and your calendar, but with other things like keeping up with important papers and even your menu planning. Let me show you my homemaking binder. Now here's the front cover inside of the binder. As you can see, I have something here. It says, coffee spills are a part of life. And one morning, you can't even see the spills now. But one morning, I spilt my coffee all over this. And it left some stains, but they're gone now. But I wrote that on there to remind me that, life is not always easy. And sometimes it's very messy. But it's all good. It's all good. And so here I have some different things that I keep up with. Sometimes I can keep prescriptions in here, like our eyeglass prescriptions. If I'm waiting to hear back from the insurance company about something, I can store information in this side pocket. It's really handy. Also here, I have it divided up, as you can see, in little tabs. And this I bought extra. They also had this at Ollie's. I found it. And these just open up. And down in here, you can keep recipes, you can keep coupons. I keep, in this particular tab called Home Planning, I keep an extra set of all of our insurance cards. Now, when my children were young and they started driving and getting out on their own, I would always show them the binder and remind them that if they ever were sick or something happened and mom and dad were at home, where they could get in touch with an insurance card to take with them if they had to go into urgent care or something like that. It's just nice to have around the house for your family. And so this is my home planning section. Here I keep some odds and ends. This is my recipe for homemade laundry detergent, just various household type items. You can put recipes for homemade cleaners and things like that. Now, some of my pages I have left blank. Those are for other things that I find in the future that I would like to put in there. Then let's see what this one is benefits for our insurance. I keep all of that information there. I keep policy numbers for car insurance. I keep just all kinds of important and pertinent information inside of this particular tab. Here I have the financial part. I keep important receipts here. Usually I'll keep an extra debit card here. Just when my children were living at home still, we always kept an extra debit card at home for them. If we were out of town or traveling, or I was away somewhere and couldn't get to them and they needed money right away, this was a way to allow them to access our banking. And then here is all of our financial information. I keep our card titles over here, along with other information related to financial planning over here. This first tab is from January 2015. This page down below this, I'm covering it up right now because I have our personal information on here. This is my budget, and this is how I set it up. And I would set it up for each week of the month. And this was the week for January 2015. And then as I go down the list, I check off when bills are paid. I write down summaries of what was due and how much it ended up being. And it's very wonderful if you ever use the Dave Ramsey plan financing in your life, which he is wonderful, and I highly recommend his method. It's always good to keep up with everything that you spend and all of your household expenses, and also extra expenses that you might have that come up, and be able to track down each month what you've used. And there for a while, my husband and I were really, really into it, and we could tell you where every single penny in our home was spent for the year, and it would tally up evenly to what we made. And we could tell you how much we spent on groceries, how much we spent to go out to eat. One month, if our eating out kind of went up a little bit, we would say, oh my goodness, we have to cut back in that area. We're spending too much money there. And sometimes we don't realize how much money that we're spending in a particular area of our finances if we don't keep it written down. And so having a homemaking binder is very helpful for that. Now here I had, this is where I kept my menu planning. I don't use this as much, except I do refer to it for some recipes now and then. I have a cookbook, of course, a home cookbook that I have made where I keep recipes written down and some that I've printed off the computer. But this is one area when I wanted to try something new and I was making out my grocery list. This is the section that I put it in, and I would hold on to it there. For me, and I've got just some stuff that I've printed off the internet for different recipes, different ideas in that category for menu planning that I wanted to use. Now this is my faith page. I actually have another prayer journal right now that I use more prominently, but for a long while I used this particular section to write down all of my prayer requests that other people gave me. I also would write down ideas and thoughts that I had about my faith life, things going on with my children and their faith, things that I felt like I really needed to take to the Lord in prayer, and to also keep track of scripture that I've read that was particularly important for me, also scripture memorization. So all of this was kept in the faith tab. And like I say, now I have a separate prayer journal that I use primarily for this, but I do refer to this now and then because it has a lot of good things in it. And one of the things that I have kept is this prayer wheel. I've discovered this many years ago, and I have made copies and given it away. Very rarely do we have one solid hour to spend in prayer time, but if you do and you want to know, how can I spend 1 hour in prayer? Because I run out of things to say, or I run out of things to think about. I'm distracted. This is a great way to pray. Here we have the starting point is praise, and you go around the wheel 5 minutes for each one of these shapes until we get to the end, which is also another 5 minutes in praise. So I will show you that maybe a little bit more later on as time goes by. And there's another extra copy that I had, and it looks like I've spilled something on that as time has gone by. And then here were some prayer requests that I had. I'm going to look away for a moment because I don't want those personal things to be shown. Now here is my crafts section. This is crafts and hobbies, and I keep track of crafts that I would like to do in the future, especially for cross stitching, which is one of my favorite hobbies. I haven't been doing that a lot lately because I've been outside gardening more, but you can also keep track of your gardening in this homemaking binder. That's a wonderful thing to keep tabs with. Here you can see I've got some gardening notes and things to remember when you're gardening. And then here I've started some little quilting of flowers. I was hoping to do a grandmother's flower quilt, I think is what it's called, but I've kind of gotten delayed on that. But this is just some things that I would like to do in the future. And then this is called English paper piecing, and that's what I had written here, just keeping track of those different hobbies and crafts that I would like to pursue. Then I also have here a very large cross stitching that I would like to use in the future, and so I kept that there. I have an actual entire filing cabinet full of different projects that I have ongoing for my cross stitching, but this is one that I could just take with me on the go. And then here's the sweet part that I added in. These are pictures that my children drew for me along the way, and I just sometimes when I'm looking in my homemaking binder, it's wonderful to flip back here and see the little treasures that they have created for me, and also our grandchildren. Through the years, they have drawn things and given them to us, and it's just a wonderful resource for helping to encourage you a little bit while you're working in the binder. I would be interested in knowing more about you. How do you keep up with your paperwork? How do you take care of your menu planning? How do you do your budget? Do you sit down and write it out? Do you have a method that you use for keeping up with all of these important things to do with homemaking? I've really enjoyed my homemaking binder through the years. At some points it's been extremely well used, and at other times I maybe only pick it up once a week, but it's still a great tool to have on hand to help stay organized. It's been wonderful spending some time with you today, friends. I pray God's blessings on you today. I hope it's a beautiful day where you are, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye bye.